Okay.
Welcome to Off the Stage Podcast.
And welcome to Off the Stage Podcasts with your hosts, James Berry. Ooh, are you a host?
And
today?
Conor Michael.
Yes, there we go. So what we're doing is, it's quite, what do you call this, a special episode? So anyway, no. And Conor Michael.
Oh, you're so kind. Didn't see that coming.
So this episode is, it's basically because you've got a song coming out.
Yeah.
So we want to...
It's not a special episode, it's only episode 88.
Yeah.
Two Fat Ladies and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was booking the diary and I put myself in for an episode. I've got a big year coming up in 2024, James.
Yeah.
I believe you do as well, but you're keeping a lot more secretive than me.
It's not necessarily secretive, it's just
you're slowly inputting information out. You're like, oh, by the way, guys, this is happening. Oh,
I'm just
like, James is ahead of me.
I need a plan. I need
I'll
to sit down and
oh
yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, what we're drinking, by the way, because this is a special...
This is a mystery drink, James.
Yeah.
I bought it.
This
and
is
brought
like...
it up, so you have to guess.
Oh. Right. Well, it's stouty.
It is stouty.
It's stouty. I thought it was stouty. It would be a bit... It looks a bit
water,
like...
hasn't it?
Yeah. It's got quite an amber shade to it.
It's quite nice, though.
It is nice, but I don't...
It's very nice.
I can't... it's not as heavy as the usual stouts. And I'm not...
It's only 4%.
Yeah. I can't even get a... I don't even know what I'm tasting, actually. Stout always has that kind of coffee feel to it, to me. You know, it's that same... It's like
And I hate
bitterness.
coffee.
Yeah.
This is called Brandy Snap.
Brandy.
This is the newest
Right,
one.
okay.
And it's a milk stout.
Right, okay.
Only came in this weekend, and they said that it's nearly empty because it's so good.
Yeah, it's very nice, actually. It goes down really easy.
I could drink that very, very easy. Apologies to all our audio listeners. This is our drinking section of the pod.
You know what? That is really nice. I've drank a quarter of it already.
Yeah, I see why it was nearly empty. So yeah, what we're drinking is milk stout.
Milk stout.
Which is what I tried to have the first ever episode we ever did, but I was on a
was that?
water retention diet or whatever have you for a stag do.
Okay. So should I treat you as like as a regular guest?
Go for
today? Okay. Well, because usually you've got the laptop and you answer the questions, but you've sent me all the questions that you usually ask the guests on Facebook.
Send you the template.
Yeah, pretty much. So the guest is Conor Michael. Who are you? You're Conor Michael. That makes sense. What are we drinking? We've already established that. We don't even need this template. We've just
flying through, James.
I know. So what? Right. Because this year's kind of a big one for you. The template is usually what are your individual influences. We already know that you like the Ed Sheeran, Ollie Murs,
James
Damien
Berry
Rice.
Yeah.
Have you had any new influences from last year that's affected your writing for this year with the new albums and the singles?
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Kinda. In terms of last year, I started listening to Daughtry a bit more, which is my missus's favourite band, and we saw them live last January.
So what kind of, is that like a...
They're like dad rock,
nice.
comes a little bit more heavy. If you never listen to Daughtry, they're very good variety of music.
Nice.
And there's a few songs that I've written recently that do have a similar resemblance to that. Of more recent times though, as I say, a few weeks ago, my Spotify wrapped up top artist was a lassie called Maisie Peters. I don't think that's affected my songwriting. There's a couple of songs that she's got that's got a good like melody hooks and have like really clever production behind it, and I listen, I like, if I can think of a song that works,
add that
maybe
into it.
But I'm not making myself write a song that does that.
So it's more kind of like for that, which is kind of influential really, because like production value is important and it's part of a songwriting process nowadays.
Yeah.
So if you find something that's cool on a record, even if you haven't like thought of that person writing the song, if you thought about when recording it, that adds to the songwriting thing.
Well, that's it. I think even more recently, well, not recently, but I tend to listen to music for the music more than the lyrics at the minute.
Yeah.
It's like Damien Rice is quite good at learning the lyrics, but when you listen behind it, you kind of see the build-ups and stuff, and when we saw him live, how he builds up there as well. And even when I'm listening to like Ed Sheeran tracks, and it's like, oh, you listen to the same thing. It's like, I'm not really, because I might be listening to this song for the 600th time, but I've just found a different underlayer that he's put on. I'm like, how the fuck's he oh, I'm putting that on the pedal now.
You don't
start listening to like sections
until you really kind of listen to a song. You don't get like how much actually goes on it. Because I remember when I first started recording, I had like used to get like have like 6-7 tracks at the most. But like it was only when I did recorded No Regrets. I had like it was like 30 different tracks, just all kind of laid up, and there's every little bit of detail, and it's like it's trying to fit everything in place, and it's you're doubling up kind of vocals and all that stuff. So much kind of goes into like one song that you on the bare face of it just looks like it's a guy and a guitar and maybe some drums and bass, but when you actually strip it back and think what's actually added there's so much added things. It's crazy.
That's my issue. When I did my first EP, it is just a guy, a guitar, a bit of a drum track, a bit of bass here and there, and I think that's why it sounds bare. Now I'm listening to like the insides of a track. I'm like, if I add that, and I'm already starting to feel what I've got coming out this year. It feels more than what I've already had. What I've got next year is already a level above what I've got this year. And it's like I can feel where I'm adding to it. So
that's it. It's slow improvements, isn't it? And that's all you want. Especially, I mean, I imagine for you, it's definitely the improvements to like in terms of where you're recording and how you're recording it.
It's like different producer. Obviously, I've used Rich for quite a while, and he's brilliant at what he does. But I'm using Andy at the minute. And I think it's just a different insight. And like it's good to see someone else's mind work differently to how someone else's did as well.
That's it. And different producers produce like songs in a way that the different style of the way a producer can bring out a song. It's like I think I'll say this till I die. Like producers these days are so underrated. Like I was watching I don't know if it was like a Grammy. What's the music awards? Is it Grammy? Is it music awards?
Possibly. I know the Brits has won.
But
I
this
think
is in
Grammy
America. But this is in the 70s, and they were saying like, "Oh, winner of this song." But they said they named the song. I mean, imagine, for example, I can't remember who was on offer, but it was say it was the Rolling Stones. And they were like, "Oh yeah, this Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones." Producer, they've named the producer in the actual awards thing. They don't do that anymore.
No, but I'd say producers count towards the songwriting. So I call myself a singer-songwriter, and I write all my songs, but that's because I put basic chords and lyrics on the paper. Whereas what I'm recording now, me and Andy, we've got like a split thing because he also adds to the track.
See, so he's a part. Right, okay.
Because it's me coming in going, right, I've got this guitar riff, I've got this idea for drums, and he's like, well, I'll put this bit of synth in here, how do you think this sounds, or we'll change this, and it's a collaboration. And people just see producers as a producer, but they're also a songwriter.
That's it. Composer, I think is it's the official term. Oh well, that's interesting.
But yeah, going back to your old question, I think it's more about listening inside the tracks. So I've started going back to like old music I haven't listened to in ages. So I've been listening to Scissor Sisters a lot recently.
I like good Scissor Sisters.
A great album, that first one. And just kind of like trying to unlock old songwriting habits, if I can get back into it.
It's finding new songwriting things that songs that you'd liked, but you've never really thought of in terms of like how did they write that. And you do look at kind of like different, because it's one thing. I mean, even Scissor Sisters, you just think it's a pop song, dancey pop song, but they've got quite like intricate parts, haven't they? Really, like Take Your Mama Out All Night. It's got like a cool little. It's like that's a really cool like step down, and then it brings it up again. And one of my favourite ones of that actually at the moment. I shouldn't really be trying to explain kind of. Official kind of songwriting terms, but Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, it's the bit where it kind of breaks down a little bit, then it oh, I must confess, it brings it down and then it brings it straight back up again. It's just that kind of it moves it from like an A minor to an F like so seamlessly, and it just brings that. It's the same kind of chords, but the song just lifts. And it's just little things like that. You think, that's really clever, actually. Like, it's, but I don't. There'll be official songwriting term, like official like music.
I've never used official terms.
Yeah, or music theorists will use, but I never used that kind of shit. We've got the up close and personal, but we all know about your old songs. In terms of your new songs, what would you say is the most up close and personal of the songs that are coming out on your latest? Stuff?
So yeah, I think when we started this, we both did one myself, and I talked about Message in a Bottle. What I've got coming out this year, because instead of just saying what it is and then what's coming out later, basically this year I've got 2 singles planned to come out and then an EP in the first half of the year. I'm in the middle of writing a second EP to come out for the second half of the year. So far what I've got is a single out in February, and then my next single is in April, and that's a song called Alone. Now, Alone I wrote 2019, I think it was, because I just left my job, went full-time music.
Yeah.
And it was a proper time of everything changed. So I'd left my job, went full-time music. Me and my then girlfriend had split up, and then we all had like the same friends group, and they all kind of sided with her. Well, say sided, but like they saw her more often and made more effort. And then I was just left gigging and then sleep and then gig and sleep, as we all do. And it was that kind of like everything's changed, and now I'm on my own, just kind of trying to power through. Originally it was going to be on the first album, but it's so similar chord progression to Missing at Night that I had to make a decision on which one it was. And I like the fact that I did Missing at Night because I've worked on Alone more live. And when I play it live, it tends to catch the audience a lot more, because you probably recognise it when I play it live. It's the one that does the big build up.
I've heard the song. Like, it doesn't really, to be honest, probably the same chords, so it doesn't sound anything like Missing You Tonight.
No, not at all.
You allow to use the same chords. I mean, I play a lot of folk songs. They only use 3 chords.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. Any Irish song, it's just G, C, D.
Yeah.
Just in that order.
No, I agree. But I think I'm glad that I've left it so long, because it's sounding so much better than what I thought it would have sounded.
Yeah,
and it's my favourite song at the minute. But I'd say Alone is the utmost and personal that's coming out.
It's a scary thought though, like quitting your job. Something that, because I think in school especially, we've always been told and taught that you stick to a job, a nice secure job that you're definitely gonna get this, then you can get a house, and it's just like, and then you kind of go against everything you've been taught by doing music. So I'm not fun, isn't it? Yeah, well, I'm not doing not going full time, I guess, because I'm cutting my shifts down, but it's still like it's still quite hard, especially when you got like a mortgage and stuff like that. Yeah. You think, shit, now I rely on music now to like sustain myself.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's quite a harrowing thought.
It is. I was lucky when I did it, because I was 2019, 25 maybe, just turned.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot to worry about, and then obviously there was 3 years of a pandemic.
Oh yeah, shit, I've got that.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago. That James.
I can't believe 4 years ago.
I know.
Hell, man.
But yeah, that was. It's you could put a spin in, say, on it, and that was a clean slate. Everything was fresh.
Yeah.
But at the time, everything was just abandoned, kind of thing. But yeah.
Oh well, I think that's a good signal to take a small break. And we'll be back soon for part 2. We'll see you in a bit.
Hey, this is Busted, and you've been listening to Off the Stage.
Yeah, I'll just... And welcome back to part 2, where we are... Well, I'm James Berry, this is Conor Michael, and we are interviewing Conor Michael on his... well, it'll be technically... Is this going to be like we're mainly promoting your single, or we're just promoting your plans for the year? Because it's still quite...
it's the single.
Yeah.
As this episode comes out on the 13th of Feb, my next single's out on the 14th. So
Nice.
Happy Valentine's Day Eve, everybody. Get ready. And then, I can chat about the rest of the year and stuff.
Yeah.
But, 14th of Feb, the loveliest day of the year, I thought I'd release my love single of the year.
Well, that makes sense. It does make sense.
It does. Everybody's questioning why it's out on a Wednesday, though. A lot of people are like, "Oh, is it not a Friday?" I said, no, it's a Wednesday.
You know, I was told a while back, like saying, if you're kind of just starting out in music and stuff like that, release your song like midweek, because everybody releases the song on like a Friday, and then you're competing for space there. If you release a song kind of midweek, everyone's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll check that out. I guess I've got nothing else to do.
Might have scored lucky.
If you're not like banging for the charts,
Not this time.
No, if you're not looking to be like added into the flipping charts, then you can just do any day you want, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have any fun gig stories of recent?
Fun gig stories. Every
like
gig at the Dublin is a gig story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But if we could just go an original route, where did I gig before? I did the Bunker.
You did the Bunker?
Bunker was good. It's not so much like a story that people can like get involved with unless they're a musician. But I did the gig at the Bunker a few weeks ago, and it was the first time I had a crowd like proper engaged.
Yeah.
Because I was prepared that there was only 3 tickets sold, so it's going to be a long acoustic gig.
Yeah.
So I might just unplug my guitar, sit on the stage, and just do an acoustic set kind of thing, something different.
Yeah.
But a few tickets sold. I think there was maybe like even 16 to 20 people, which some people think that's not a lot. You got to think we're not talking like utility arena standards. You're talking about a 40-50 capacity room. It's still quite full. So I did my normal set, and about 4 songs in, I played Missing It at Night, which is just acoustic. There's no loop pedal involved, and I did choose to sit on the edge of the stage, unplug the guitar, and just play it acoustically. And it's the first time I've done a gig where you couldn't hear anything else in the room. It was just like one of them.
Yeah, I like those kind of gigs.
Listening.
And sometimes that's because you can't. It's very, unless you're Damien Rice, you can't really get away with that. If you've got like a crowd full of people, because you're always gonna get one fucking knobhead who's like, and you think, for fuck's sake, man.
Yeah, there was a couple like bag ruffles, but there was nobody talking.
Yeah.
So I might add that to my shows this year, but it was good to see. That's the first time, like I've done my tour last year where you could hear people talking and you're like, oh fuck's sake. But it was the first time I got everybody like, oh, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I will go. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a confidence booster, because last time I did the Bunker, it wasn't a great finish. I got outdone by my supporter. But yeah, learning curves. It was a good one personally for me, but there's not like a funny gig story behind that. It was just good crack.
No, I don't
Good
think
crowd control.
Can't remember the last time I played an originals gig. It was the Globe.
I was there.
Yeah. I'll be back there. I could probably announce it. It'll be announced now. Yeah, I'm actually at the Globe again. I liked it so much. I thought, fuck it, I'll headline it. So I'm back there on April the 13th.
Yeah, man.
So it should be a good one.
Day after Alone comes out.
Yeah, well, you know, we could probably do something else. What I'm tempted to do is get like a playlist of just like local music.
Stealing my ideas here, James.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
You still do it though.
It's a good idea.
I did that to, like I say, when I did my tour last year, I just took loads of like learning curves for it. And the last show I did, I was like, I should have done a Spotify playlist. So when people are warming up, it had like James Berry playing songs and stuff like that, and I walked on Ed Sheeran stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, it's worth doing. It just makes it a bit more atmospherical.
I mean, by the time this comes out, I'll probably have supports announced, but by the time this is recording, I don't have any supports announced. But I will have that. I'm so slow at kind of like getting things planned and stuff. That's something I need to work on, but I'm getting that. At least I'm booking gigs.
That's it.
It's a step forward, isn't it? I'm learning.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, April 13th at the Globe. Should be a good night. Trying to just make it like a fun night, not too serious. Just everyone just.
I'm taking the night off. I'm gonna have a few pints, see if we can grab a hotel in town.
Yeah,
a few drinks and whatnot.
Anyway, we've got a shit ton of Instagram questions.
Never happened. Thank you, everybody who's
asking you questions.
Big Conor Michael fans on our podcast, I guess.
Absolutely.
Basically, every week, whenever we have a guest announced, we will always advertise on our Instagram page. So follow us at Off the Stage UK if you haven't. And we just put questions, and you just have to ask any question, whether it's what's your favourite green vegetable or who's your favourite composer. It doesn't have to be specifically related to music or not. Put what you want to know.
Yeah.
Just on that update, it's normally every Sunday night because we build up for the Monday.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, we're going to start recording on Mondays and Thursdays. So keep an eye on our Instagram pages for Wednesdays as well.
Yes.
And we'll be advertising, look, we need questions, etc. So keep an eye out. There's always something going on with our page.
Yeah, we're trying to do as much as we can.
Including Song of the Week.
Song of the Week, yeah.
I don't know who it is in February yet, so I can't announce it. But anyway,
Yep.
back to Instagram.
So we've got one here by Alan Reich. Is it Reich or is it Reich? I do apologise, Alan. I've never actually asked, like...
You know what? I've never asked.
Alan... Well, Alan, we all know Alan, asks, I Don't Hold Grudges, I Write Songs is a great album. When is album 2 coming?
Ooh. Is it a great album? Because I get two minds about redoing it or just like taking it down.
It's a good name.
It's a great name. Until you find out what the second album one is.
I Don't Write Songs, I Hold Grudges.
Nearly. At the minute, I'm planning the second album to come out in 2025. It's been recorded. It just needs to be mixed. It's being mixed, sorry. It needs to be final mixed. Got an email off the studio saying, it's pretty much done. We just need one more day just to kind of tighten these things. So, yes, sound.
Cool.
So 2025, I'm planning the first single will be on the 17th of March 2025. Why is that, James?
Because 17th of March is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I suppose I have to release an Irish song, wouldn't I? So that'll be my first single for next year.
Oh, so you're not releasing a one this year?
No, it's next year.
Oh, all right then.
That's the plan. Things could change. I'm kind of trying to compete with a specific label this year and get their attention and be like, hey guys, look, I've got this album ready to go. And then they'll be like, cool. It's normally what happens. But if they're not interested, I'll be self-dropping it next year.
Yeah,
that's my plan.
so it's either, either or either.
And because we don't normally get a great deal of listeners on here, so it's like an exclusive kind of thing. At the minute, the album title is Always in the Wrong, Never Incorrect.
So it's not something I should figure out, is it? It sounds cool.
It's the same kind of thing as the first album.
Yeah.
It could change because it's got no relevance to the album. I just kind of like the phrase.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, so as far as it stands, March 2025 should be the album's starting to drop out.
Awesome. We've got Stitch/Redman/music/manager. What is your worst habit in your musician life?
A bite in my fingernails.
That's bad for musicians.
To the point where if I've run out of fingernails to bite, I bite the calluses on my fingers. And then I don't realise until I go do a gig and go, Did it today. Like, my finger's killing there, and I've got to do a gig after this podcast. I can't use the little finger. That's my worst habit is...
So you could say your bad habit is ooh-ah, ooh-ah, ooh-ah.
They didn't play that at Bring Me Horizon, you know?
I know. You know what? When I heard you were coming, I was thinking, like, I bet he's waiting for Bad Habits to come on.
Jokingly said that every time. Oh, I didn't know you'd be here. I'm just hoping they play Bad Habits. It didn't play Bad Habits.
I was thinking, what do you think Conor will do if Ed Sheeran kind of comes up as a special guest?
I would have been mental.
Right at the front, jumping the skews.
I had me plectrum in case they needed us.
I don't know, my bad habit as a musician in your musician life is just for me it's probably
being too good.
No, not just not planning stuff, I guess. Just not I'm gonna say work-life balance, but at the same time I'm gonna say procrastination, and just because honest to God, like this, I can't even read books, you know. I'm so bad.
I'm the same.
Because I'll start reading a book.
Probably different reasons. I think I'm just really slow.
No, well, I'll start reading and I'll get into it a little bit, but then like I'll hear something outside and go, oh, what's that? And then like I'll have a look and I'll be like, the blinds are a little bit thingy, so I'm shit there. Then there'll be like a little bit of
you got ADHD
paint there. Then I'm what?
You got ADHD.
Is that what it is?
Probably. Sounds very much like it.
Because then I'll be like, it'll get be like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, for fuck's sake, I've just like,
very easily distracted.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so bad. But yeah, that's my worst thingy. Not that the questions are directed at me, but I thought
music based,
just in case you want to know. Anyway, Stitch Redman.
Different guy, that, isn't it?
That's absolutely. Who would be in your fantasy backing band?
No one. I use Luke Pedal.
Yeah, so Mr. Robot.
Fantasy backing band. I don't really know what I would have in the band. And more to that, I'm very bad with other musicians, so I don't really know who plays what instrument specifically. You know, I would love to have a saxophone player. Maybe a keys player. I've got a fella called Harry Sowerby. We'll be doing some bits with some live shows down the line. I know he's not massively famous. He was a bass player in my covers band when I was in one. So I'd have him in the band. But I suppose going live, I wouldn't just put a band behind us because that's what the loop pedal is.
Yeah,
But the stuff I couldn't loop, for example, keys, a sax player, a trumpet player, some kind of brass. But I wouldn't know. I'd rather have like an orchestra, to be fair. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Couldn't give you specifics, but if I was to build a band, it would be me, loop pedal, guitar, keys player, orchestra.
Probably have
Glockenspiel.
Yeah. I'd
Use that quite a lot in the next album.
Glockenspiel. Glockenspiel.
Because it was fun to say. Who's the Glockenspiel?
I'd probably have the Eagles as my backing band.
Yeah.
Because they're like a super group anyway, so adding me to the fray just because they're like really good harmonies and stuff like that, and it's, yeah. The Eagles would be my backing band.
Harmonies is a good shout. I took the choir in there as well.
Yeah.
Choir with the orchestra.
But yeah, it's hard to get them on the Dubliner.
It would, yeah. But, I'm sure Dan can introvert upstairs.
It's top secret.
Ultimate show.
Okay, so Jammed Up Official says, what do you think of the ginger lad who hosts Off the Stage podcast with James Berry?
He's a bit complacent, doesn't really turn up all the time, and I hear he's late 24/7.
Yeah.
I hear he said, James, you should make the podcast start at 7, so we'll get there for 6:30, and he turned up the day at 7:15. Maybe 20 past 7.
So
Sounds about right.
I mean, for me, he's...
For a music host, he doesn't know anything about music, though.
Yeah.
But he knows that. That's what's important.
Exactly. You know what? That's exactly it. And
He's here to learn.
Exactly. Every day is a flipping learning day. Nobody wants a smart ass. Anyway.
No, but it's a good job I've got you, James.
Yeah. Right. So we've got Marissa-Deborah. What are your plans for 2024? This was going to be a question in the third part, to be fair.
To be fair, I've technically answered the first part. Yeah. 2024, I'll give you the gist of it and I'll go through more detail in the third part, so stick around if you're interested or leave if you don't. But if you do leave, please still give us a 5-star rating, etc. The dates I've got so far are the 14th of February, single released, Come and Kiss Me.
Right.
12th of April, single released, Alone. 7th of June, the EP is released. The EP is titled All or Nothing. And on the 8th of June is the EP launch/release gig. I'll give more details on that in a bit.
Cool.
I was hoping 15th of July was going to be a bonus track, but I'm still working with a specific band and their label's contracts allowed to allow another person on. Some complications in there.
Ooh.
And then I've got 3 songs out of 4 ready to record to start releasing in August, September, something like that. And again, I'll do the same thing, 2 singles, then I'll drop the EP. And then I've got a lot to do, James. Yeah. I've got 4 singles to record to release the start of next year before the album drops, and then I've got 4 EPs to release the year after next.
So lots.
A lot of songwriting, and I've got no songs left.
Yeah.
It's great crack.
Well, you know.
But I've got an idea that gets me to 2027, and that's what matters.
Well, you know, you can have a few of my songs if you're desperate, to be fair. Like,
we've got a collaboration song somewhere, James.
I know, well,
called,
exactly.
The Show.
It wasn't it? Yeah, we'll have
came across my book earlier.
I'll have to remind myself of that one. HMV Newcastle. What have you been listening to so far this year that isn't yourself? He says as he's just been to a Bring Me Horizon gig.
Bring Me Horizon. I have seen Ollie Sykes live. I don't think I fit in there, but it was still a good show.
I thought it was a brilliant show, actually.
Yeah, credit to it. It was one of them. I said to Ashley, I was like, you know what? It started at, say, 9:15.
Yeah.
And I first checked my phone at the time at like 5 past 10. Yeah. I was like, fine, that's just flown by this. And then 4 more songs went by, and I checked my phone, it was 7 minutes past 10. I was like, oh, all right, this is where it gets slow. I didn't think it was a bad show. I think he was very good at keeping the crowd entertained. I thought the light shows were fantastic. I loved the fucking thing behind that fell and everything.
Aye.
And the little teaser for the next album.
Yeah.
Very cleverly done. My issue was not knowing the songs, that I think I just got bored after like an hour and a bit. And I was like, oh, I'm done.
The thing is, I didn't really know any songs, but I didn't get bored. I thought the show was absolutely brilliant. I loved the gaming bits as well. I thought, but I liked the songs anyway. So like, even if I didn't know the songs, I still thought they were really good. To me, it was just like going to a theatre show myself. But you know,
it was good. I think tiredness kicked in.
Yeah, it was.
It just felt like it was the same So it wasn't obviously the same songs, but because I didn't know them, it just felt like he was just doing all these big songs. And it got to like an hour and a half in, and he did the first slow song. I was like, if he just broke it up a bit earlier on,
I guess so.
kept my attention. Before we go to the next question, though, I won't be able to know the guy's name, but to answer the question from HMV, I've been listening to a Celtic song from a guy called Nathan Evans. Ooh. Excuse me. He's got a song called Heather on the Hill, and I came across it on TikTok, and it's been stuck in my head for ages. So that has been a song I have not listened to until before this year. Stick Season, before it became absolutely gigantic, I was starting to get into, and now everybody likes it. I'm like, I'm done with it now. I'm not done. I still like playing it.
I've never really liked that song.
Oh, I did. I
don't know what it was about the song. It's usually my style of song. It's usually the song that I would kind of like, but I was like, I don't really know what he's going on about, if I'm honest with you. So I'm just like,
yeah.
So I'm just like, what's he saying? What does he mean? Apart from going to Vermont and having played.
If you listen to the song, James, he says, "Love Vermont. It's the Season of the Sticks."
It's the Stephen.
Season. He's meant to say season.
Season.
If you listen to the song, that's how he pronounced it.
Season.
And I don't know whether he's got like a lisp or a speech impediment or anything like that. But I know there's plenty of times where I've done songs and I can hear, like if I've got an irritation, I can feel my lip and I'm trying to just get it off. I'll do that during a song and I can hear it. Nobody else will pick it up. I wonder if he's done the same thing.
Ah, maybe.
For example, I've got a song where I can hear that I've got a vocal zone in my mouth. It really irritates us. I'm like, I can hear that behind it. But yeah, Nathan Evans is probably the newest artist I've come across this year. It's something I've not listened to before. Other than that, I've gone through Ollie Murs and Avril Lavigne albums non-stop this month.
For me, it's Bring Me the Horizon. That's the only one I've actually listened to that I haven't not listened to before. I haven't listened to much actually this year. Been super busy doing all sorts of shit. I haven't even had a chance to sit down to myself and listen to some new songs. But yeah, Bring Me the Horizon, absolutely love them. I'd recommend if they ever come back to a gig, even if you don't know any songs, go see them. Right, okay, we're running a bit low on time, aren't we? Right,
loads of time.
Yeah. Lewis from Ellen Moss. Hello, Lewis. We want to know the full story behind the Ollie Murs pics, please.
Cool. There is a couple of pictures of Ollie Murs. There is the one where I was 16, maybe. And I met him for the first time in HMV, back when it was on Northumberland Street. Remember the days?
Yeah.
Don't know whether Rich was working there or not. But that's the first time I met him. I stood in a queue with like 5,000 lasses and just myself. And I got there and he offered to sign my Trilby hat that I was wearing. So that was nice of him. The more recent picture is he released an album called Marry Me the year before last. And he did an album sign in December. And me and Ashley went down to go see him. I thought I'll try my luck and see if I can get him to do a bit of a video for the podcast. And I was standing in queue and Gaffer at HMV came and got me and Ashley out the line, pulled us all the way to the front. Felt really awkward because we cut in front of 600 people and they were not happy. So we had to say out loud, look, Ollie's management said for you to wait here. So okay, we feel a bit more privileged now. Ashley got to meet him and then it came to me, and before I got forwards he was like, "Connor, how's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, he knows my name. That's weird." And I went to him and he had my album in his hand, asked me to sign it for him. I got him to sign his album for me, kind of thing. And Rich got a few photos of it. So the story behind that is I'm just a massive Ollie Murs fan. I voted for him since X Factor. I was the only one in Newcastle that wasn't voting for Joe McElderry. And
I didn't vote Joel McElderry either.
He's Sunderland though.
Neither I didn't vote for anyone actually. I didn't even watch it, but yeah, I'd be a massive fan and it was cool. He asked for a copy of my album. It's a shame he got one that I think could have been improved, but you never know. He might have still enjoyed it. And that's the most recent photo I've got. Plus, after he'd done all the signings, Rich did get him to do a video for Off the Stage. Hi, I'm Ollie Murs, and you've been listening to Off the Stage podcast. Go check it out. It's brilliant. Something like that, I know it.
Your Essex accent.
Yeah, that's my best attempt at Ollie Murs, doing Ollie Murs. Right. Okay, so Keddy Sowell's music. Do you do music as a full-time job? We know that's a yes.
Yeah.
If so, what are your top 3 pieces of advice you would give to make it work out? Smiley face.
Cool. Depends on how you do music full-time. For example, I went full-time in the cover scene. Do your 9 to 5 is your cover gigs, pub gigs, the songs people want to hear. Best advice you get is try and take as many midweek gigs as you can because they're very rare. I used to do 2 busker nights, run them on a Wednesday and a Thursday. I used to do a Filthies on a Monday, also the Botanist on a Monday, and then 3 or 4 gigs on a weekend. Build your reputation up. Don't turn down gigs because it's exposure. A lot of people in the industry are always like, oh, I can't pay the bills with exposure. So, no, but you also can't sell yourself without it.
Yeah.
It's very rare I've done a free gig where I haven't come back with a wedding gig or, oh, this venue wants to speak to you.
That's very true, actually, yeah.
Don't live on exposure gigs. Don't turn them down immediately. They're always good crack. Making sure you've got your connections with venues, make sure you've got gigs is great. And just making sure you're in the right agencies. There's too many out there that are in it financially rather than to keep your agency, the music going. We both know who I'm talking about, James. Enough said there, but you can be cautious with that. And if you're just wanting to go full-time music in the original scene, wait till you're at Ed Sheeran's heights before you quit your job, because, you know, nobody cares about grassroots musicians.
No,
you have to really physically push yourself up there. It's not impossible as people make it out to be. It just takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah, but yeah, full-time musician, essentially, if you have to do covers.
Yeah.
Get good at singing covers.
It gets you really good at your crowd work as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry to cut you off.
That's all right. Yeah, it's just practice, I guess. And yeah, you've said it all, really.
Take every gig you can get.
Yeah, but it's essentially, if you get yourself a massive repertoire of songs, popular, classic, old, eventually you'll be able to read the room. You kind of know what people in the room want. It keeps them there. Bars happy, they'll keep hiring you. But yeah, you'll not get a full-time job just doing like original stuff. You have to do your covers, I think.
Yeah,
pretty much. Or start an agency and
yeah.
Right, we've got very quickly 3 questions from Ashley.Reckless. If you were a potato, what dish would you most want to be made into and why?
Potato cakes. Very underrated, but the best thing you can put in a breakfast.
Very good. Would you rather constantly have watery eyes or constant bad breath? I mean, I've got bad breath anyway all the time, so I'll just stick with that.
Watery eyes, I think. Yeah, I always get conscious of the whole bad breath. If I think I'm having a bad breath day, I'll stay further away from people.
Yeah.
Watery eyes, I can just sing really sad songs on stage and people would be like, oh, look at the emotion.
Yeah, you could, couldn't you, actually? You could really...
I just have to play Unplugged all the time and just be like...
I'd like to change my answer.
Really milk the crowd.
Yeah. And Ashley.Reckless again. What was your inspiration for your new single?
Oh, it's like she's asking for a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was... Honestly, the song is called Come and Kiss Me, and the crack is I was just having like a big gig day. I was either doing 3 gigs that day or 7. I really don't know. And I just got a text off her because I was in between 2 gigs and in the middle ground was her house. So after one, she was like, oh, come and kiss us. So I did that and then left. And I was like, it's a song title.
Yeah.
Treat it like a note. So yeah, Ashley, that's your answer.
That's excellent.
She knew the answer. She just wanted a shout out.
Yeah. And we'll go into further detail about the song after the break.
Ooh.
See you in a bit. I like how that works.
Welcome back to Off the Stage podcast with me, Conor Michael. This is James Berry, your host.
Yep.
And today we have
Conor Michael.
Need a laptop, James.
I know. Honestly, that's we need a laptop. Right. So, should we give a question for next week as well? Then it's kind of roll over one question each. Because I had a good one. I was going to ask you, but obviously I had so many. I thought, you know what, we'll save this for next week's. Right. So this is a 2-parter.
Okay.
Right. So here's the question. So you've been sentenced in a court of law. You've been sentenced to death. Your crime was crimes against music. So the question is, what did you do? The second part is, what's your last meal?
What did you do? What's your last meal? Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Mate, I probably just didn't know who like the Beatles were or something.
Crimes against music. Crimes against music. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's a good something like that.
That is probably me.
Yeah.
My last meal. Ooh, cheese board. Cheese boards are good.
Yeah. I had with my last meal anyway. I got rinsed by a cat with this, but Ham sandwiches are in like tinned tomato soup. Like proper butter with white bread, like filled with like shit ham.
I'm not on the ham sandwich for that one, but I would be cucumber and Philadelphia sandwiches.
Like dipped in tomato soup though. Right? You got to dip it in.
It's got to be done.
It's got to be like Heinz or shit tinned one.
Oh, proper soup.
Because my original thought was like, well, obviously it's got to be like a steak or something. But like if it's Death Row, they're gonna just like microwave the steak, and it's gonna be like you don't want that.
That's a good point.
You don't want that as a shit. Like at least get something shit. Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, we'll ask that for next week. What will be your question for next week?
Oh, I didn't prep it. What's your favourite Conor Michael song? I don't know. I really should have prepped this. If you could, I'll think of one for next week.
Think of one.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got...
If you had to put two bands in the North East together, grassroots, to make one super band, who would it be?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm conscious that I'm making this... Hold on, you talk while I read this.
Right. Like, well, to be fair, the next question I was going to ask was going to be a question that you might have to answer, but I'll keep talking until you finish typing. But yeah, so the next thing is kind of like it's talking about your up and coming shows, songs. Obviously, we've talked about your latest song that comes out, "Come and Kiss Me." Was that recorded at the place where you've recorded your album? So it's the same. Right.
I'm aware nodding my head is very bad for audio listeners. Yeah, so I released Home was the first single I recorded at Blast Studios. I then went back and says, oh look, I've got another single to release called All or Nothing. So I went and recorded that, and it's just an acoustic song, bit of piano, bit of guitar. And then I was going to release it this year, but then I came through with the plan of get a bunch of songs together, release an EP instead. So last year I released Horse Outside as a single just to kind of carry it through. In that time I then came up with the EP because I didn't like the idea that All or Nothing, it's nice soft acoustic song, but coming off the back of Home, it felt like I needed that middle ground before I got to there.
Yeah.
And I had Come and Kiss Me already written down. It's the first song I wrote after Home, I believe. And I went back through my archives of songs and went, actually I do like that one. So I went to Blast, recorded Come and Kiss Me and another song called Burning Alive, and Alone, obviously.
Yeah.
And I recorded that early last year, and I just thought it starts off a bit like chill, and then it kicks in with a Come and Kiss Me. It's not massively like summer anthem like Home, but it's not down and chill. It's acoustic. It's the perfect middle ground. That means whatever I release next can be either.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was recorded at Blast last year.
Awesome.
And then obviously I had All or Nothing was recorded beforehand, which gets that slotted in the title track of the EP.
Yeah. So is it just because I know sometimes when you release a single, you always have like a little like B-side. Is there a B-side to come with this one, or are you just releasing that song?
The only song I've ever released a B-side with was a song called Missing Part of Peace, and that was about just going for a walk in the pandemic and just enjoying the fact that you could hear the waves crashing.
Yeah.
And I released a B-side there called There You Are, which not many people have heard of, but I play it live at gigs and everybody sings along to it, and it's like,
yeah, that's pretty
it's
cool.
That basic like la 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 la.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
It's one of the ones I'm tempted to re-record because it goes down well. I might bring it as a proper single.
Yeah, because sometimes you can like look at the old songs and you think, oh, you know what, I could have done that better. Then, because truthfully, nobody's gonna be like, I've already heard that one. Mm-hmm. Like they'll be like, oh, that's a new take on that song that I liked before.
Exactly. So no, with Come and Kiss Me, because it's technically not just a single, it's part of an EP. It's just going to be single Come and Kiss Me, and then the single Alone, and then the EP with the other two tracks on it.
That's cool. So is the EP has all those songs on it, doesn't it? So it's like you're releasing the song separately, then you're releasing. So there's any more songs coming out on the EP that you're not going to release? Just extras. So people can listen to something for the first time when this EP is released.
So Come and Kiss Me and Alone will both be out as singles before the EP, and then there's just two tracks left called All or Nothing and Burning Alive.
Ah, right. Okay, that's cool.
Burning Alive was quite a fun one. I tried to do something different 2 years ago when I released Home, and I did a release gig for it at Beyond Records. And the thing I tried to do different is I tried to write a completely new set that whoever came and see my show, it was a different show. So I really forced myself to write 6 new songs that I'd never done before.
Yeah, I remember you saying that actually.
And Burning Alive was the one that I wrote on that day that everyone was like, oh, I like that Burning song.
Yeah.
That was really good. I was like, all right, I'll try and do it properly. It's got a bit of like a rock grunge 007 kind of thing to it.
Yeah.
So there's a specific rock band I'm trying to get involved as a bonus feature track. And then it's kind of like single, February, single, April, EP, June, bonus track, July. And that carries me through the first half of the year.
Yeah, that's cool.
Is the plan. But if they can't do it, I've got a couple of people in mind I could probably speak to merge Burning Alive with.
Yeah.
And then I've got the next EP to write and record.
Yeah, well,
I'm fully busy.
Well, you know, if the said band doesn't want to do Burning Live, it's the best ever folk rock band out of Fulwell.
It's a good shout, yeah.
We're not part of any silly label.
Any connections.
We don't have any contracts or anything. We're free agents.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. That's a
we
good shout.
single and ready to mingle on your songs.
Yeah.
Right. Any this would be an interesting one, because we know quite a lot of local artists now doing this podcast for like a year and a half,
Nearly 2
2 years.
months.
Yeah. So any recommended local artist shout outs? There's going to be a bit of competition. People might be annoyed that we don't mention them. That's
there will be. I usually cop out with this question and go with you, Stevie Stoker and Scott Kears. More so yourself, because obviously we do the podcast, we gig a lot together, and you release more songs more frequently. Scott releases songs from time to time, and Stevie I think he's recording an album at the minute, maybe.
Yeah.
I give them a shout when there's something happening, but I'm always like, check out James and his band.
I appreciate that.
But in this one, I'm going to flip the question slightly, because I've got a launch gig as well happening with the EP. So my launch gig is I'm headlining the Clooney 2 on the 8th of June. This will be the first announcement. Tickets are not on sale yet. They will be. I'll explain how to get them soon. So I'm going to shout out the 2 support acts I've got.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Last year I did a tour in York. Well, a tour in the UK. York was one of the cities. And there was meant to be a fella on there called Harrison Rimmer. Very, very good musician.
Yeah.
He had to pull out last minute the day before. But I stayed in talks with him. I was like, look, if you fancy doing a little swap around,
Yeah.
I'll do a support for you, you do a support for me, whenever. He's up for it, so he is the first support act on that gig. So please go check him out. Harrison Rimmer, great musician, got some great songs out. The second support act I've got this is kind of the stance of knowing how far I've come in music.
Yeah.
The first grassroots musician I remember paying to see live is a band that we've technically had on the podcast before, and I remember watching them live, being like, "Oh fuck, they're really good," and I was like, "They're really good," and I've kept talking to the fella about, if you ever need me for support, he's like, "Oh, I'll keep you in mind," kind of thing, because he had a few different projects. It wasn't just this band; it was a different one. And then I was just looking for a support act. The way I did it this time was like, instead of me just saying, "Hey, James, do you want to support?" I went to see who was going to promote the best, who had the best campaign, etc. And he messaged going, "Oh look, we'd be up for it if you." And I just thought, from seeing him live to being like, "Oh, he can help be part of the show," that kind of makes me think how good the show can be.
Yeah, and from you thinking, "Oh, I could support them," to them supporting you. So
I'm going to give a big shout out to Tall Shaves, who is my main support on the Clooney gig.
Oh, they're brilliant, them.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear their set.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's in like 5 months' time.
Yeah.
So Tall Shaves and Harrison Rimmer, they're my 2 shout outs because they're my support acts. They're both fantastic. There's loads of musicians I could give a shout out to, but I'm going to label them down without me getting a sniper.
No, that's a good that's a good shout out, that.
But yeah, just quickly going on to the show. I've got a thing which I'm going to show you about as part of my 6-month plan.
Right.
And I've started a mailing list. By the time this comes out, that will be announced. For those of you who have already signed up to it, if you've seen my Instagram, you'll have early access to Come and Kiss Me. It will be available. You will have been listening to it for the last 13 days. I'm going to start advertising it as of the 1st of February. If anybody signs up to this mail listing, you'll always get early access to tickets. You'll get early access to song releases, and you'll obviously get notifications when there is a song coming out, an EP coming out, there is a gig coming out. I'm never gonna bombard you and say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm at a local pub. It's always going to be, this is a headline show I'm doing, maybe a support show in your area. It's never going to be too many emails. It's just going to be the odd one.
Yeah.
You can always opt out if you want. But if you want to buy tickets to that gig at the Clooney, sign up to the mailing list and you'll get first dibs on the tickets before they get announced to everyone else.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. I'll show you. Show you what I've got.
Oh, show me. Aye. Yeah. That sounds exciting. Actually,
good thing called Mailchimp. It's great crack. So yeah, that's my shout out. That's my show.
Awesome.
Clooney, featuring a couple of people. James.
Yeah. Yes, I may or may not be there. Well, I will be there.
May or may not make an appearance. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Any socials you would like to advertise? Because you've cleaned up your social now. You've got one.
I went proper serious for this year. Yeah. At Conor Michael UK. That is Conor spelt with one N. It's in the middle of COOR. On everything, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, it's another one, Mailchimp. There's other stuff on there, I can't remember. I don't use all of them, I'm trying to get more active on them, but they're all the same social tags. So yeah, get yourselves along to that.
Awesome. And what song are you going to be singing for us?
Oh, well, I've got a single, which is out tomorrow, so please do check it out if you haven't already pre-saved it. If you listen to this and it's not Tuesday the 13th, that means the song is out, so go check it out. This song is called Come and Kiss Me, and it is available. And
technically, if you watch this through the end, you get a sneak preview of what the song is before it's even released. Because if it's coming out tomorrow, they'll hear this today, live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not listening to this any day later than Tuesday.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I've enjoyed today. Actually,
it's been good and chill.
Yeah, I've very much liked it.
Thank you for being the host today, James.
No problem, I've done my best, I think.
It's been sound. We'll be back next week. Tune in. Please follow us. We are at Off The Stage UK. But more importantly, follow at Conor Michael UK, because this is my episode.
Yeah. But off the Stage UK and everything except for X. It's off the Stage 2. And up the
Stage 2.
Anyway, we'll get you set up and where we want to go, and we will see you next week. Thank you very much. Have a good one. We'll see you later.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Haven't seen you since this morning, and that's 2 hours too long. So won't you come and hold me in your arms where I belong? I tell her I'm aware of time passing by. No matter how it's feeling, I just want you by my side. And she said, won't you come and kiss me like you mean it? Come and kiss me, I believe it. Oh, won't you spend some time? Come and show me that you're mine tonight. I admit I lost track of time and carried too much to bear, but don't for a second think I anything but care. Ooh, anything but care. She said, won't you come and kiss me like you mean it? Come and kiss me, I believe it. Oh, won't you spend some time? Come and show me that you're mine tonight. She said, won't you come and kiss me like you mean it? Come and kiss me, I believe it. Oh, won't you spend some time? Come and show me that you're mine tonight.
Can't clap because I've
Cheers.